Jackson Wilkey from Channel Junkies has made over $5 million over the last couple years by building and growing real estate channels on YouTube. He's known for videos that have hundreds of thousands of views, and he's run multiple different channels like the Houston, Texas channel, like the one in Seattle, Washington, as well as the one in Portland, Oregon, to bring in a massive amount of leads. Now, after studying all of his different channels, we've come up with 5 different strategies that every real estate agent can implement that's going to absolutely blow up your channel. And today we're going to share all those with you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Hi there, my name is Clayton. My business partner Dylan and I are YouTube strategists with over 100 million views on YouTube. We've been helping agents get to the #1 spot in their city, and we work with some of the fastest growing channels in multiple different markets. Now, the first key to success is building strategic partnerships. Now, Jackson, who runs multiple channels across the country, is most known for his channel over in Houston, Texas. So if we just go to his channel here, we can see as soon as we pull it up, there are 2 people on the channel. We've got his partner right here on the left, and we've got him right here on the right. And if we look at his channel, you'll see that in every thumbnail, he's in the thumbnail, his partner is not. Now, if we just take a look at one of his videos by clicking on it, so you can see here, if I just play the video, he's actually the one doing the entire intro. You can see him on camera here. He's being the face of the channel by being the one on camera. And then as we move later into the video, if I just click here, you'll see his partner gets introduced into the video. His partner is actually the one who's walking through the whole entire property. And the reason that they do this is because while he's the one who's being the face of the channel, his partner is actually the one who's closing all the deals. Jackson isn't even a licensed real estate agent, and he's still able to pull this off, which is just so incredible. It's because he does these strategic partnerships. So if we look here, you can see that while Jackson's responsibilities are to record the video, he's to plan out the ideas and the strategy for the channel, handle the analytics, handle whoever does the editing and make sure they're doing it right, and the thumbnails, while Joe, who is his partner, is there to show up and be in the video and also to close the deals. So when people actually call, Jackson's not the one who goes out and shows the homes. He sends them over to Joe. And Joe's the one who actually showed the house as well in the first place. So it's a really smooth handoff for that lead as well. So it's a really, really smart way for Jackson to do that. So he's been leveraging these partnerships, and he doesn't just do this on the Houston channel. He does this on the channel over in Portland, Oregon as well. So again, there's a guy named Andy Nett. I think he has another agent as well that's there on the channel with him. But if we go and we pull up the channel here in Portland, Oregon, what we'll see is that Jackson is the homepage video. Okay, very popular for him to do that, is be on that homepage video. And if you actually just look at videos, and let's just click on popular, we can see here that he was on all the videos years ago. You'll see these other people. You saw 2 people here. You saw another gentleman here. So maybe they had different people running this channel, but he's in a lot of these videos. There's a chance that he was looking to see who to pass this on to, or he's working with a team that has a lot of agents, and they're slowly introducing different people into the channel. But if you look now at what's most recent, there's 2 individuals here that are on this channel, and you can see here that they are on the banner. It's him and 3 other people. And then there's these 2 agents that are actually on the channel. They do all the thumbnails now, they do all the recording now, and it's kind of been passed off to them. And I'm sure there's some type of partnership agreement there, as he, helps them create better videos or coaches them to some degree while they're still the one, doing all the footage. So Jackson's now passed off the footage or the recording, and he does the ideas and strategy, most likely, the analytics, the editing, the thumbnails, and the other people are the ones that are doing the recording, the vlogs, and they also close all the deals. And then lastly, just to prove this point even further, let's take a look at the Seattle, Washington channel. And if we pull this one up here, you'll see the same exact thing. If we go to oldest, you'll see Jackson in a lot of these videos. As you scroll through, you'll see that he started introducing her more and more. She's here now on the channel recording all these videos. If we come to the latest, you'll see here. But if we go to home, you'll still see him in the home video, right? So he has that partnership there with her. Now, the reason he's doing this, again, if we just break down his ideas, analytics, editing, thumbnail, he's doing this for all these different channels. And the reason that he's doing this is because in order to scale, right, he knows that these agents, and even if he's to run a channel channel, he needs someone to help close the deals. It's a lot of time to, one, manage everything on the channel in terms of editing, posting, coming up with ideas, being the one to record, then also going and turning around and taking care of the leads that come through, you know, the buyers, the sellers, the people you have to build relationships with, hop on Zoom calls, handle the whole sales aspect. And then you have to have time to go and record all that footage again. And so it's really hard. A lot of agents get bogged down by this because they are so spread thin. So really the key takeaway here is don't try to run a channel all by yourself. What you want to do is you want to leverage a team and partnerships so that you can scale and grow the channel. So if this is your channel right here, what you really should be doing, our honest recommendation, is one person to be the face to record and close the deals. And the other person, whoever it is that you bring in, should be helping you with the ideas and the strategy, the analytics, the editing, the thumbnails, just the overall accountability and making sure the channel is running smoothly. And that person needs to have a specialty in doing that. And that's why Jackson's so good at it, is because his specialty is in the back end side of the channel. It's not in the closing of the deals. I'm sure he could do that as well, but he's partnering with these other agents to make sure that they're the ones closing the deals and that they're the one who's taking care of all the transactions. While he's focused on the skill that is his highest leverage. Let me ask you, is running a YouTube channel your highest leverage? Or is it being a great real estate agent? Is it building the best relationships possible with your audience? My gut would tell me for most agents, it's actually being an awesome agent. So whether that's partnering with someone like us, which is what we do with agents, or whether it's partnering with another company, I'd highly encourage you to work on finding that partnership for you so you can start delegating your time away, having someone who's also better than you handle the growth of the channel while you focus on what's going to be best for you, which is closing the most amount of deals as possible. Now, having partnerships are awesome, but really what sets Jackson apart is this next thing, which is that he's just ruthlessly authentic. This is something I respect a lot about Jackson. When people go on to record, they start a channel, one thing that you'll find very often is that they put on like a different persona. They, maybe act a certain way, or they'll completely change the way they are on camera. And what I love about Jackson is he's just authentic. He's who he is. And if we look here at his channel, I've got a couple clips I just really want to show you. And I want you to just watch this clip right here.
From a mama. I am gonna get my wife on here because I didn't want to keep telling her story. So, Shotty, tell them what you've learned about Texas.
Yes, there are a few things I've noticed as being a woman in Texas. You want to get your chapstick, put it on, it's all melted. You have children in the back, they need sunscreen. The sunscreen bottle's expanded, maybe exploded. Your water is always hot in your car.
Right, so he's brought his wife on into the video and he's using words like shoddy and he's just being himself. And so what that does with your audience is it immediately connects with your audience. Your audience can watch that and be like, that's just Jackson, that's who he is. And it builds a lot of trust. Now, again, if we just look at some of his general videos.
Now take a look at this house. Pretty nice, right? Well, if you look up in the air, you're gonna notice that we are on acreage properties out here where you can have your own shop, pools, RV parking, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and all the space that you need in a beautiful Texas home.
And what I love about this clip is he's in a t-shirt, he's got his glasses on backwards, his mic is showing. He's just being himself. This is how he is, how he wants to present on camera. It's who he is honestly in a normal setting, and he's just talking normally to the camera. So again, that ruthless authenticity.
4-year-old coming in to bother me. It's Christmas break and I stepped on your Monster Jam. I gotta finish this video. Break.
He didn't cut it out. He let that clip run because it's who he is. It's authentic. So as you look at your own channel and you look at the things that you're doing, just ask yourself the question, are you being authentic to who you are? Are you trying to put on a persona? Are you trying to be different? The audience can tell. And as much as we want to hide that, as much as we want to be different, guys, our audience can tell that about us. And it's what is really going to attract them to work with us in the first place. Now, there's a saying in real estate and just in business in general, and you've probably heard it so many different times, but the truth is people do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? We all know that. We're creating content for people to get to know us. But what's going to get them to like and trust us is the way that we are on camera. It's our authenticity. And so Jackson's just phenomenal at this. And this is going to really help with building that trust. And then also it comes down to emotion. Okay, this is really, really powerful. I want to play a clip here from one of our videos for Olga. So just go ahead and watch this.
Well, I thought I was going to make it through the video without crying. That was me just a few short months ago when I decided to move off the Las Vegas Strip.
So you could see here in that clip that we are showing emotion. I'm not asking you to go cry in your introductions, but be honest with your emotion. If you feel a certain way, if you have a certain opinion, if you don't like something, if you do like something, share it. Share it with your audience because they respect those types of things. And so she was being vulnerable there. Again, don't have to cry in your video, but showing emotion, showing what's going on in real life. You know, she just moved out of a place that she loved and had lived there for a long time, and she moved and that was hard for her, right? So we showed that on camera. And a lot of her audience has also been following along through her journey for a while. Like they watched the video where she actually left, and she's building up a really, really strong core audience. Adding those emotional things in there over time really is going to help build that connection deeper and deeper with your audience. Your audience is not coming in just to watch one video and they're done. Your audience is watching 3, 6, 10, 12. Some people even watch for over a year. So if you're posting a video a week, people can watch 30, 40 of your videos. And so you want to build a storyline of who you are as a person. And that's with what you wear. That's with how you act on camera. That's with your emotions. So the more that you can do that, the better you're going to align with your audience. And it's actually going to help you convert. Now that leads us into the third key strategy that Jackson has absolutely crushed, probably better than anybody. I can guarantee you probably don't spend enough time doing this one thing, which is obsessing over analytics. The last couple of years, Jackson's done a phenomenal job at breaking down his analytics on YouTube. 2022, I've got a screenshot here, 2023, 2024, right? He's been constantly breaking down the analytics on his channel and just taking a look at what makes a difference. Now, for most agents, the reality is the analytics tab is not something you should be doing, especially if you have a partnership, right? This is not your specialty. It's not your highest leverage skill. But if you are that agent who's a little bit nerdy, likes to, go ahead and look at the analytics, there's a couple key metrics that you should be looking at that we're going to break down briefly. But really, your analytics can be the difference between a good or bad video. I mean, we posted this video 4 months ago, avoid moving to Las Vegas unless you can handle these 15 things, and it has 102,000 views, whereas pretty much the same concept was posted and it's got 100 views. Yes, I get it was 10 days ago, but honestly, this video is not going to even get close to where we're at. And it has pretty good title. It has pretty good thumbnail concept, like the editing, the designing element is not too bad, but it's all about the packaging. It's all about the presentation of it. But in order to know that, you also need to know how to read your analytics. So we're going to break those down here. Like I said, now his idea is not bad. It's actually the right idea, but the execution was done pretty poorly. And that's probably because he doesn't have the data or understand the analytics to make certain decisions. Now, when this happens to most agents, they get a video like this. What they typically do is they blame the algorithm instead of learning from their analytics, which this is just so important. I see it time and time again. An agent posts a video, doesn't do good. They blame the algorithm, they blame the keywords, they blame the tags. This is why I didn't do well. But the truth is if you can look at the video and you can study why it did not perform and make sure you never do that again for your next video, you've learned a lesson that you'll never have to go through again. And that's by being able to read your analytics. So let's cover some of the most important analytics you should be looking at. So when it comes to SEO, I hear it all the time. Agents put a lot of pressure on SEO. Rule of thumb, if your SEO is taking you 30 or 45 minutes or even more, then you're putting way too much time into it. Here's an example. We just posted a video, has 16,000 views. We posted it a few months ago and it has 0 tags on the video because tags don't actually help your video. Maybe 0.5%, maybe 1%, but the reality is it's more about your packaging, having a great thumbnail concept, having a great title, and just making a better video that your audience likes to watch. You can't trick YouTube and getting your video to pop up more. YouTube's gonna promote the best content, and the best content is the content that has the best title, the best thumbnail, and the best experience. So spend more of your time focusing on those things than just the SEO itself. Now, the second thing is actually split testing your thumbnails and trying to test for CTR. Well, honestly, YouTube doesn't really test for CTR anymore the same way when they're doing these split tests. It's more about watch time share, which is another metric in and of itself that you should understand. But we just did a test the other day, and one of our thumbnails had a 61% watch time share, and the other one had 39%. And that shows us that when someone clicked on the second thumbnail, it aligned better with what the overall concept was. even though we had a video that we posted a while ago with this thumbnail, when people actually clicked on it, they weren't actually watching the video fully because it didn't align with their expectations. So there's a lot of different things you can be looking at. Again, this is like nitty gritty stuff, but knowing and understanding these things are gonna help you with your other videos in the future as well. And even if we look here at the actual performance, it's at a 10.3%. This is in the first 3 days, 2.3 thousand views, 6-minute average watch duration. So it's absolutely crushing it. But this data also allows us to use that for a lot of different concepts in the future as well. Now let's move on to the third thing, which is retention. Studying retention is honestly, for most agents, not worth it because there's a lot of different types of retention charts and people make decisions on retention in lots of different ways. That's usually wrong. But one thing I will talk about with Jackson Wilkey that we did see is that as he was starting to actually do a lot more of his vlogs, you'd notice that he used to just go on and on about the house, and he didn't show the house in the background. He would just kind of tour and show the area. But he noticed that he would have a big drop off in the beginning of every single video. And because he did the same format every time, he was able to notice a pattern. And so as he saw in this beginning part, a big drop off over and over again, he realized, he said, well, people don't really want to watch all the other stuff. They want to see the house. They want me in front of the house. They want me inside the house as quickly as possible. And so he cut that time down, and very quickly he saw that little retention graph got fixed. So these are types of things that you can do. If you're doing videos that are all different types of videos and they're not consistent, it's going to be harder for you to read that retention graph. But just being aware of it and kind of understanding that there are some things that if you're doing it consistently and you do consistently see a drop off, it might be something that you can actually change for next video. Now let's talk about search versus browse. Okay, another concept you should be aware of is where are your views coming from and which one's better. Now the truth is for a long time, lots of people who coach YouTube would stress YouTube search. You need to get search views. When a lot of things have changed over the last year or two, whereas a lot of the smaller agents play still in search, whereas a lot of the bigger agents are playing in browse, right? They're not just focused on getting 50 people to search them up or 100 people to search them up. They're looking at 5, 10, 15, or 100,000 views, right? So if you look here, you've got a video we posted, just 66% browse, 24% suggested, and then 7% search. Now this video has 100,000 views, so that's about 7,000 in search, which is still really good. You want to know the difference, right? What's the difference between browse and YouTube search? Whereas browse is going to be on more people's homepage and could be a great top of funnel, just kind of getting more people into your content and being able to see you. YouTube search could be more direct leads, but also more people that browse your content or see you in browse can also go and search your content as well. There's a lot of different things here to look at. So you want to know what's best, what type of video is best for what, looking at all those metrics. Again, we got a pros and cons video. You can see here, it ranks a lot in search, almost 50%. Whereas browse is only about 22%. Now, as you see, this video that performed really well in browse has 102,000 views. It's brought us 700 subscribers from one single video, right? So you can start playing with the big dogs when you really have these types of concepts. That still brings you in business, right? So it's not just all about search. But again, we also have these videos, which are still perfectly fine, but it's consistently growing. It looks great. We have consistent views on a daily or hourly basis, which is awesome as well. But a lot of that's coming from search. So there's different pros and cons, to these different videos. And just knowing that is really important. Now, lastly, we'll talk about core audience. If you look here, this is definitely an awesome metric you should be tracking because it really shows you where your growth is. And so there's two metrics here, new viewers and returning viewers. Now, when's the last time you checked how many new viewers you have and how many returning viewers you have, right? I probably can guarantee that most people are not checking this consistently, but our blue, which is our new viewers, and then we have our green line, which is our returning viewers. We want to be seeing a steady increase in returning viewers over time. So this graph should be somewhat increasing. And we can see that from where it was all the way back here, back in February to where it is now. We have a consistent, steady returning viewership rate, which is awesome. We also have a really big spike in new viewership just overall. So new viewers, people that have never heard about us, and you want to see that. So you want to see these big spikes and you want to see these returning viewers continue as well at the same time. So big spikes and return, big spikes and return. We could also just see massive, continuously big blue spikes as well. But really we're looking for that core audience to be built. And that core audience is what's going to convert into leads most of the time because they watch a video. They don't just convert after that one video, right? They watch a video and they have to see multiple videos over and over and over again. So if they came here in February and watched a video, and and they're still here all the way in August, that's going to give us a really good chance of capturing that lead over anybody else. And so we want to be paying attention to these two numbers as well. That way you can know kind of the health of your channel and what direction it's going. Now, all these analytics are awesome. And this is where Jackson Wilkey has gone a step above every other person, is by knowing these analytics and doing the fourth thing that we're just about to talk about, which is constant innovation. Because he has this data, this allows him to innovate. This allows him to make changes. If you look at his channel over the last couple of years, he's made quite a few changes. So let's break down all these different changes. So let's start with number one right here, which is in 2020, when we look here at his channel that's over in Portland, Oregon, he had a very specific thumbnail concept. So you can see here that he had this border, he had himself on the right-hand side, he used all these funky different colors, he had a background. But then if we jump to 2023 in the same market, he's using the same font every single time, but it's different than what it was before. And he's got a lot more like organic, no crazy colors, no weird looking backgrounds. His background's a lot more clear as well. His objects are a lot more clear. And you can see here an increase in viewership. And if you look here at 2024, we can see another change. Now, personally, I don't think that this is the best change that they've made. I don't think this change was made based on data. I think that this was just made based on convenience. A lot of agents, when they run a channel together, they both want to be on the channel, and that can cause issues. Personally, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I think one of them should just be on the channel and follow along with the same format that he was doing before, and their channel would just do a lot better. So that's one change I would make in hindsight, just my personal opinion. But you could see here, there's gone through a lot of changes. Now, I think this change right here is based on data, seeing, hey, we can improve our thumbnails. And after testing it multiple times, getting that feedback back that was correct, and then implementing that. And you can see that not only on that channel, but even on his main channel in Houston, he went through the same thing. So he had a very similar format. He then changed it to a very similar format. And even recently in July, he actually tested a whole new format. You can see it's very AI, very artificially kind of done. Like the face tuning is very different. The text tuning is also different, like really bubbly text. And after posting for that for about a month or two, he went back and he's testing a new version. Now it's August, right? So he's testing now two different houses side by side. So he's constantly testing this stuff to make sure he's making the best decision. And this is what agents don't do, is they don't test these things. They don't try it long enough and make a decision on if it's good or bad and then move on. I think this has been his best thumbnail format alongside this one that we just went over. I think those two were his best, and it's very clean and simple. And his thumbnails aren't, incredible. They could still be better than this, but he's constantly testing, and that's what helps him set himself apart. Not even thumbnails, but he's also tested video length. So if you look here, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 15 minutes. And now if you look at his footage, he's, we're talking 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 51 minutes. And his opinion on that is if you make longer videos, you'll show up more, which is somewhat correct. Like it's just more people are watching longer, and YouTube can tend to promote longer watch time videos, but it doesn't mean that it's because the video itself is longer. If you have a 20-minute video and people watch a ton of it, that can still get promoted more. But yeah, so he's constantly making changes. He's reading data. He's trying to make decisions on it. And that's really something that most agents are not doing, and what you should be doing if you want to build the #1 channel. Now, after all the innovation he's done and the time he's been on YouTube, he's also developed one skill that does not come overnight. And this is what's honestly the hardest for most agents. He's mastered his camera presence. He is so good at just being on camera. I mean, if we come here and pull up a video, see how natural he is on camera. Hey guys, stay here, this is what we're gonna do. Oh, it's a little bright, puts the lights on. Oh, by the way, boom. Like, it's so natural the way he presents. Here's another one. He's just mastered his camera presence. It's so normal and natural for him. And honestly, this is one of the hardest parts, even for us today, is getting our agents that we work with to be excellent on camera, because unfortunately it's a skill that they have to learn. If you don't have camera presence, it actually requires more work to support the lack of camera presence that you have. So you need heavier editing, great thumbnails, great scripting. Like, you have to have a lot more better things outside on the channel in general if you are less natural on camera. If you have great camera presence like Jackson and some of the other top creators, you don't need the best editing. You can get away with light editing or decent thumbnails or decent scripting, because your camera presence itself carries people through the video. Now, the truth is that even Jackson's videos, you look here, they're not the best thumbnails and titles in the world, right? But he can afford to not have those on a couple of videos, and he's constantly testing. So I don't want to say he's doing anything wrong here. He's testing, which is the right idea. He's making sure he's trying different things. But if he actually worked with a top tier strategist to help with the packaging and thumbnail and planning of all this, I honestly believe we could help 1.5 or 2x a lot of the videos performance that he has here, which is simply just the packaging. But again, he's doing an awesome job because his camera presence is just so good. I mean, who else has 4 or 5 years of experience talking to a camera? He's honestly learned to talk to the camera like it's a person. Like, as you're watching, you feel like he's talking to you. He's bringing you into this journey. And even me, I don't live in Houston, but as I watch these home tours, it's like, I want to buy one of those homes, right? He's really good at drawing you into the video. He can afford to not have the absolute best in some of the categories. Even though he's doing great, he's not doing really anything wrong. But again, everything can always be better, and that's why he's testing. But yeah, I strongly believe even if he worked with a top tier strategist, he could absolutely crush even more than what he is now. Now, even the channel we work with over in Las Vegas, we love working with her. She is awesome, and her audience absolutely loves her. But the truth is she doesn't have 5 years of camera experience. She's only made 10, 20, 30 videos, and so we are doing some of the more heavy lifting in the post-production, right? In the editing with higher motion graphics, with better editing, making it look fancy, right? So we can carry a little bit of that, better thumbnails, make up for some of the lack of camera presence that she may have. Now, over time, as we keep recording, she is going to absolutely crush it more and more every time, and she's getting better every single video already. But that just goes to show, even for an agent like you, if you don't have the experience of being on camera and you haven't practiced a lot of that stuff, it may mean you will need some heavier lifting in other places. But if you're an agent, you just absolutely crush it, used to be on TV, you've done all this other production stuff, then maybe you don't need all the fancy stuff, and you can get by with just building that honest connection through the camera. Just real quick, some last things you can do. If you ever have any issues with finding some difficulty on camera, one of the best things to do is honestly just create your script in the form of an outline. Don't try scripting everything and listing I need to say exactly this or exactly that. Try to prompt yourself. If you have a videographer, the videographer can ask you the question. If it's yourself, you can have it on some notes and ask yourself the question, how are home prices affecting people? Explain what you think about the economy in this area. Just random questions you might ask yourself. Talk about your opinion on the best neighborhoods. Talk about your opinion on if it's a good time to move, if interest rates are going to go up or go down. Share a story about someone you helped move to the area. Share a story about something that's funny, right? Just prompt yourself to answer these questions so that when you read it, you know that you can just answer it off the cuff like you were talking to someone. And at the end of the day, you can't force great camera presence. It just comes with time. So practice, practice, practice. You'll get there over time as you practice shooting more content. It's not something you're gonna learn overnight, but you'll definitely get there with time. If you apply all these things to your channel, you're gonna grow so fast, you're gonna be shocked. Now, I do understand that going over all this stuff is overwhelming. So if you are an agent and you're saying, I know I need to do all this stuff on my channel and I need to partner with someone, we would love to be that partner for you. We actually do it for so many different agents across the country. So if you wanna have a conversation with us, click the link, schedule a call with our team. We'd love to help. You're saying, hey, Clayton, I still wanna keep learning about YouTube. I wanna do it on my own. Totally fine. All you gotta do is click right here, and we'll see you in the next video.